Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Next Gen Mod Career Mode. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we are headed short track racing once again here at Bristol Motor Speedway. No, it is not Bristol dirt. We cannot do that with cup cars in NASCAR Heat 5. So yeah, no Bristol dirt to deal with. It's the pavement now. As you can see, we're 21 points below the cut line coming into this race right now in the playoff situation. Joey Logano, the only multi-time winner so far this season. We're fresh off of seeing drivers of Christopher Bell, William Byron take some victories for the first time this season. 200 cars now in victory lane. Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, the only two without a win. You see us there touching down in the Bristol, Tennessee area here now at the track for Friday practice, hoping, for a good opportunity. I think this is an opportunity for us to get a top 10, and we have had the ups and downs of this season. We've had two top 10s at Daytona, and then we went to Mid-Ohio and had a top 10 and a top 5 there. So I'm hoping that we can get a top 10. I don't think a top 5 pace is in this car, but I think top 10 is realistic. So here we are in practice now, just getting some time under our belt and a little bit of that comfort zone built into this brisk Toyota Camry here. Tyler Reddick at my inside, as I can confirm Tyler Reddick will be getting a rating change here after Talladega. So after the next episode, you will see him with a bit of a rating change. But we were actually scrapping it out with him here in practice there. 3 wide, we were with him, and well, last episode winner of Christopher Bell picking up the win in Martinsville. Not a lot of news in, silly season and whatnot lately, but I can confirm there is some silly season news on the way. We've kind of hit a bit of a calm point in the season, but here we are, Saturday morning, now getting ready for qualifying with a goal of a 16.157. Can we actually beat that goal at the short track of Bristol? I think we can get close. We cross the line, start our lap here, down into turn 1 and 2. You're going to see me running up on the top, basically 95% of this race now, unless I'm forced to go down to the inside to complete a pass or a slide job and whatnot. Through 3 out of turn 4. It's going to be close to the goal of 16.112. We do beat the goal, not by much, but we do beat it. P20, so smack dab in the middle of the grid here for this Food City 500. Pretty happy with that qualifying effort. We'll take a look at the rest of the qualifying efforts here. Kaz Gralla at the back of the field, Ricky Santos Jr., AJ Allmendinger down there in 33rd place as well. You can see Kurt Busch with a 24th place effort. Our teammate Bubba Wallace, P17, and on the front row, it's Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott, and William Byron as we're going to get ready for some cup racing. But first, we do have the recap here of the Bristol weekend, which only saw the Truck Series racing. Zane Smith picked up another victory here as he's been tearing it up here in the Truck Series recently, looking very, very good going into the next few races. I can tell you right now, he's obviously going to be a driver moving up, and he's already made some cup starts too this season. Let's get ready to go racing.
More short track racing, anyone? We're at the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway, ready for some incredible racing today. We saw Christopher Bell best the field last week. Can he do it again today?
Never say never, Chris. But we've seen only one multi-time winner so far this season. That was Joey Logano with a strategy call in Mid-Ohio.
I've got my eye on Larson today, who shockingly has not won yet this year.
We are getting ready to see the drivers push their cars to the limit as they slip and slide under the lights on that beautiful red Tennessee.
Nobody sent to the back today here in Bristol. A bit of a surprise there.
Sounds like them boys aren't trying hard enough.
Now some audio from Chase Elliott and crew.
Let's get it today. Push all those ships in, make it happen. Copy that.
You hear the radio transmission there between Alan Gustafson as well as Chase Elliott. Nobody sent to the back, as you also heard Mike Joy and Clint Bowyer briefly touching on here. So, yeah, not a single car with an inspection issue or anything. Chase Elliott, William Byron on the front row. Hendrick Motorsport lockout, but as well you have Christopher Bell up there. You got Ross Chastain. Watch out for Bell, who just came off that win in Martinsville. Looking hot now as we are underway from Bristol Motor Speedway on the pavement. No dirt down on this track track, thank goodness, here as we head down towards turn 1. Daniel Suarez up the inside of us here as we, of course, are on the preferred lane immediately to start this race. This is exactly where I want to be, on the outside. However, pretty often here, it's hard to get the outside rolling early on in the race, so I really didn't actually want to be up here quite yet. I wouldn't mind being down on the inside. Joey Logano, speaking of the inside, is up my inside, passing me there. He's going to move up a few positions in about one corner. That puts him up into P20 now, passing the 14 of Chase Briscoe. Had an up and down season so far. There's been a couple of moments where he's a very legitimate threat for these wins even, but he hasn't been able to quite actually execute and, you know, just go the full length. Now, he can do like the 99%, but that missing 1% just kind of bites him, but he was moving his way forward. He passed my teammate Bubba Wallace, and Bubba started a few spots, well, about, what, 3 spots ahead of me, but here he is dropping backwards pretty quickly, and here I am passing him on the inside. Kyle Busch, another driver dropping backwards, and another big name that was dropping back, the number 11, my boss, of Denny Hamlin. He was struggling to move forward as well. So that's the thing about Bristol. If you don't get your setup right, you know, it's a very quick fall throughout the field, and that was happening here to Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, etc. Now, as you can see, Chase Elliott on that track map, he was setting blistering lap times. He was way ahead. I myself back into this top 20, unfortunately getting stuck behind the 99 of Daniel Suarez. That opens the door for the fellow Rookie of the Year contender, Harrison Burton, to slip my inside. I'm very impressed with how Harrison Burton's AI has been doing in this career mode, so really liking what I'm seeing out of him now in this first season as we clear Daniel Suarez in that 99, so we can slide up in front of him in that Trackhouse machine. So we move, you know, down to 21st, back up into the top 20 very quickly now, and we try to set our sights on that 11 and that 21 once again. Hamlin continues to fade, but as I'm going up the inside of him, you can see Harrison Burton, he'd also gotten past Ross Chastain, who was falling backwards. Trackhouse Racing, a bit of the talk this season has been them at the short tracks. They've been struggling quite a bit. Both Ross and Daniel Suarez have been having really rough races when it comes to short track racing. We're seeing that replicated again here now. As you can see, Kurt Busch up my inside. He's going to go for the overtake and complete it, and he's going to get 3 drivers in a matter of moments there. He passes the Hamlin. A little bit of contact between myself and Denny Hamlin. Hamlin sideways into turn 1. He saves it, thank goodness, but a little bit of a moment there between himself and I as we just kind of went for the same piece of real estate in a 3-wide battle with Ross the Boss now as we head down into turn 1. 12 to go on the stage. A bit of a slider on Chastain. Personally, I don't want to waste any time on Ross Chastain, so I just went for the pass as quick as I could. So we move up into P19. 8 laps to go on the stage. Running down now Kyle Larson, who's usually fantastic at Bristol. Not seeing that here today. William Byron out in front. He started P2. Chase Elliott took that early lead, but now that they're working their way through lap traffic, it's benefited that 24 Liberty University machine a little bit better than Chase Elliott now. As you can see myself going up the inside of that 5 of Larson, catching a driver, one thing, passing them another. Passing on the inside, pretty difficult at Bristol, and you can see I would struggle for a few laps actually with this 5, but I would get to the outside of Kyle Larson, so that door would open. I would see myself right through that door. So we get to the outside with 5 laps to go in stage 1. This is for P18, and I'm really happy with how this car is driving, so I don't want to make any adjustments. We're probably not going to be pitting at the end of stage 1, so I think that we've got a really good chance. This car is getting better and better as the run goes on. I think that stage 2 is going to be a big stage for us. Brad Keselowski would take the lead late in the stage over both Elliott and Byron as we came through to the final laps. Keselowski had won stage 1, and I was going to settle in behind this 48 of Alex Bowman for P18. So Brad Keselowski comes out of nowhere to win the first stage, but on top of that, Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing right now is looking on rails. Kurt Busch, we saw him pass us earlier. He's up to now 12th place, and look at that, Chris Buescher up to 7th place. RFK is on the move here early on in the day in Bristol. Long way to go, so anything can happen to any of those 3 cars. Keselowski, he's had a rough season. You guys know I did give him a rating change, but I can tell you I didn't make him the best driver in the field, so I was a bit surprised to see him running as well as he was in control for the restart here, as there was no pit stops at the end of stage number 1. A lot of drivers did go a lap down. You saw it there on that leaderboard. I mean, we stayed green the whole stage, and some drivers were slowing up others, and that was allowing the leaders to get to lap traffic a lot sooner than they usually do at Bristol. And, well, we saw a lot of drivers go a lap down, like I just said. So, fortunately, I myself did not go a lap down. We continue on here. Denny Hamlin is an example of somebody that went a lap down in that number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry. So, I wasn't wasn't too concerned if Hamlin went up my inside and, well, was able to pass me. But here you see myself going 3 wide around the outside of the 42 and the 11. And I'm very understanding that this car has got a lot of pace in it right now as the run goes on, as the tires wear. So the fact that we didn't have to pit, we can keep these worn tires. Of course, I want to take advantage of it as much as I can. So that's why I was getting the elbows out and going for those 3 wide outside moves early on. And it was not over. Here's Kyle Larson actually really tight on his door. A bit of a compromise corner, not only for him, but for myself as well. We do get the spot from him, however, in P17 behind 16th place Stenhouse, but I would go to the outside of that Irish Spring machine, and we'll get past him as well, up to P16. Alex Bowman, our next objective, and Harrison Burton as well. Kurt Busch actually fading a little bit here in stage number 2. You see him right there side by side for 12th place with Eric Almirola, but he would get that outside rolling for him, and he would actually get back past the 10 Smithfield Ford Mustangs. So he would get back up into 12th place, and then he would kind of start to move back forward a little bit here, but you can see myself on the outside of this number 10, Brad Keselowski, still leading here with a little over 18 laps to go in stage number 2. That 6 car looking very, very strong. Could he be a threat here today in Bristol? We'll have to wait and see. A lot of time to go still now as I'm going to the outside on lap 11 of Ryan Blaney for that now 12th position. One key thing to note, we have not got a single stage point this season. We're already at Bristol. What is this, part 9? Episode 9, race 9, whatever the heck you want to call it. We haven't gotten a single stage point this season. We could have in Mid-Ohio, but I basically, wasted it trying to wreck Ross Chastain, which we did succeed in wrecking the 1 car, which is always a positive. But there we are passing the 22 of Logano for P11, and then we run down Chase Elliott here. So Elliott started pole. He's dropped back now, holding on to P10. I'm trying to get my first stage point of my Cup Series career as we're up the inside of him on the exit of turn 2, side by side with that Napa Auto Parts machine. Maybe a little bit of contact just about, but no, it doesn't quite look like it. But we're certainly getting aggressive, and actually a little bit of contact there. I washed up into the 9 on the exit of turn 4, sideways into turn 1 goes the 9 of Chase Elliott. I'm back out of it. Here comes the 48 of Alex Bowman slipping up the inside now. So we drop back down to P12. Elliott stays up top, so I go back down to the inside as Bowman passed both him and the 2 of Cindric. So we continue on with this fight after that contact with the 9, and then actually a brief bump to the back of the 2 of Austin Cindric. Fortunately, that didn't turn into anything, but it did slow me up. So we are just continuing to log these laps on the inside. On the bottom of the screen on the track map, you see Brad Keselowski just lost the lead to last episode's winner, Bell, but they're fighting back and forth. But Bell would get the lead officially and clear that 6 of Keselowski's. I clear the 2 of Cindric for P10. Into the top 10 stage points finally for the first time in our career. It's looking like it's going to happen now. Closing in on the back of the 48 of Alex Bowman. We might even be able to get P9 here, get 2 points to our name, as now we're finally getting to pass the lap cars. The leaders have been dealing with it for like 10 to 15 laps almost at this point, it feels like, as I kind of used up the 78 a little bit there on the exit of turn 2, but just trying to stick with this 48. Smoke ahead. That's the 60 of Kurt Busch. Into the top 10 he went, but into the wall he goes now, into the side of the 48 as well. That ends the stage a few laps early. Busch still gets 3 points in 8th place. All of the Roush Fenway Keselowski cars in the top 10, 2 of them in the top 3. Keselowski, Busch are behind the stage winner of Christopher Bell. Yeah, do not touch the car at all. It's fantastic on the long run.
10-4. We'll leave it alone. Watch out for the 9 car as well. He's a bit pissed about earlier.
You do hear our radio chatter right there, and as well kind of getting the news that maybe Chase Elliott not the most thrilled with me, which is not surprising. I mean, I did get into him and, unsettled his car quite a bit, and he actually gains 5 spots in the pits, but a big loser, the 20 of Bell. We gained 4 spots. Bell is outside of the top 10 after winning stage number 2. His chances of winning this went from a very high chance to, well, it's going to be a big, long road ahead. It's now on the front row, Roush Fenway Keselowski. Keselowski on the inside, Buescher on the outside. Chase Briscoe, he's marched his way forward. He's into 3rd place. You got RFK. You got, as well, Stuart Haas Racing, 4 Fords in the top 5. And then a Toyota, the lone Joe Gibbs driver of Martin Truex Jr. And he has been in the news recently, of course. Is he staying around in 2023, or is he going to, well, hang up the helmet at the end of this first season of the 2022 season of this NASCAR P5 Next Gen Career Mode? We'll have to wait and see, as Ryan Blaney does get clear of me right there, and I was really just forcing myself to try and just hang on this outside, and unfortunately early on it's really hard to get this outside rolling and get it working really, and you can see Austin Dillon's passing me. Christopher Bell, he's at my inside, so he's already rallied back to 8th. We know that 20 DeWalt Toyota Camry has a lot of speed. I mean, there's no doubt about that as I actually get into the back of the 20 of the exit of turn 2. He's sideways, big save right there, but now it's chaos. Turn 3, we're 3 wide, and now here comes the 9 of Chase Elliott to my rear bumper. I was paying attention to him because we knew he might not be quite happy. Alex Bowman out of my outside, but a bit of a weird kind of scenario that all kind of led to now the 9. He's going to bulldoze right on through us and put us into the outside wall.
What a idiot. I'm going to absolutely destroy him.
What a idiot he is.
You hear our side now as Chase Elliott gets his revenge. Now, I mean, I dished it, he dished it back. Now, when I was racing, one key thing to mention, I completely forgot that I had actually ran into him earlier in the race, so I didn't consider that as payback or anything. I was just like, what the crap is his AI doing, actually bulldozing through me, because AI don't usually do that unless they're a rival. Here you see myself, though, battling with the 2 of Cindric, trying to run down the 9 who's up there in the distance, but I was struggling to pass this 2 car, but I was pretty frustrated at this point, so I kind of used up the 2 on the exit of the corner, put him in the outside wall right there, and we continue on in a P11, but I know for a fact that he's not going to be happy about that, and we're going to check the reputation at the end of the episode, because we've gotten into the Cup Series with this kind of reputation, running into people, and we're kind of living up to that today. I'm looking like Ross Chastain, just not as bad because I'm not hitting cars and bulldozing them into the wall every single race. It's only every 2 or 3 races now. Byron gets past me, the 60 of Kurt Busch passing me as well on the inside. This outside line, it still wasn't coming in. I mean, we're already on lap 86, and I just wasn't getting it to roll, but lap traffic would be my savior. Here we are, now on lap 88 behind Kurt Busch, and look who we have here. Chase Elliott in the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet right there, and look who's in front of him, Tyler Reddick. That's not for position. Tyler Reddick is having a terrible day. He is absolutely terrible. He's like dead last basically, like 2 laps down. It's not looking good for that 8 of Reddick, and I'm not sure why is that slow, but yeah, there's, like I said, a rating change coming immediately for that number 8 car. Now it's actually past the 9, but I catch the outside wall, and he gets right back past me down into turn 1. I was still pretty annoyed with that 9, but I didn't want to wreck him when there was all those cars around. So here we are at P13, lap 94. Kyle Busch really struggling as well. A car around in front of us. That's Kaz Gralla there down the back straightaway. That's going to bring out a late race yellow. 32 laps ago as Keselowski continues to lead the way. Nobody is going to come into the pit lane, so we will get ready to go back racing here. You see the sights around Bristol Motor Speedway. Next episode, Talladega. It's going to be a fun one and a big opportunity for us in the 45 team. I think that Bristol and Talladega back-to-back honestly might be our 2 best back-to-back races of the season that we're going to have. But we're ready to go back green flag racing directly behind Haddock Motorsports' Chase Elliott. Here we are underway again. Kurt Busch up my inside there. We've seen RFK be very strong today. Kurt Busch blew that tire at the end of stage 2, and he's rebounded tremendously, as we as well have Buescher still in the top 10, and well, of course, Keselowski out in front of this race. And if Christopher Bell can't get to Keselowski, I think Brad's in a really good position, but a lot can change, and you can see up ahead Brad running all the way on the outside, Truex running high but a lane lower. Martin Truex Jr. looking for his first win of the 2022 season, and his success this season really could determine what he does, just kind of like it did in real life in his future here. So there he goes to the inside of Keselowski. That's going to put him out in the lead, but the question is, can he hold on to the lead there? A little bit of contact briefly there with the 17, but we're just fine. Truex still leads on lap 101, 25 laps to go, clear on the exit of turn 4 of the 17, so up at a P9, but you can see up ahead now Chase Briscoe to the lead of this race over Truex. William Byron had gotten past Brad Keselowski, or at least to the inside, and he will get clear of Keselowski, so Brad down to 4th. As you can see, the 14 and the 24 both go through into 1st and 2nd, so Byron gets past Truex as well, and now he's chasing Chase Briscoe as I'm here with 19 laps to go, running down that number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet of Chase Elliott one more time here, closing laps in this race here as I'm trying to find a way around him as quickly as possible, going to the inside, doing the diamond effect because he can get a really good run out of the corner, but it wasn't quite working. The 9 of Elliott not making it easy on me whatsoever. We've already had a couple of back and forth moments this race, obviously, with contact points, and you can see how much I'm struggling to get past this 9. And now, to make matters worse, I'm going to get boxed in because the 12 looks to my inside now as we head down into turn number 1, lap 112. I can't go to the inside because that 12's there, so that was getting even more frustrating. Here we are with a chance at a turn 4, but we kind of get squeezed as we head down the front straightaway down into turn 1. I said, get out of the way, Chase, I'm done with you, and actually basically bulldoze him into the outside wall and, well, screw myself. So it was a silly move, and we pay the price. So at that moment I said, well, I know I can't do anything back to the 9 now. And was Chase doing anything wrong in that moment? Absolutely not, but I was more annoyed of what happened earlier and wanted to just get him out of my way. But here we are still, at the end of the day, passing him anyways, because Logano and myself take him 3 wide, and now we're going to get past him. And I might do the same thing to Blaney, but no, Logano's going to get us both. He's just hauling the mail, and here comes again the 9, back up the inside, approaching 9 laps to go, and I'm going to get boxed in again, so I got to drop down to the inside. So Chase Elliott drops back, goes back forward, and now we go back forward, clearing the 12 of Blaney for 9th place here in these closing moments. William Byron has taken the lead in these closing laps now up the inside of Elliott and Truex through the lap traffic. Once again, lap traffic playing a big role when it comes to a track like Bristol, at well, and Martinsville at times. Any short track, they play a massive role, and they are today as well, because we just gained 2 spots from it on 6 laps to go in this race. Now 5 to go, clearing the rest of the major lap traffic, bringing Ryan Blaney with me into P8, and we would actually find ourselves in a bit of a scrap here with Ryan Blaney in these final few laps. 4 to go. William Byron had gotten clear of that 14, and it was maintaining control, looking to become only the 2nd multi-time winner this season now. As you can see, 2 to go, white flag in the air for William Byron here, splitting lap car Kyle Busch 3 wide. He's had a terrible day at a track he's got so much history at. Crossing the stripe, white flag in the air for ourselves. We're still side by side with Blaney 6th place, Kozlowski right there in front of us. William Byron, however, wins in Bristol, his 2nd win of the season. In the last 3 races, that's 2 wins as well. We're side by side. It's going to be a drag race to the line with the 12, but we're going to beat him to the line, P7. And that was a great day, a great finish for us. It was a bit of a rough day in terms of contact with other drivers. How about Todd Gilliland? P9 for the Todd Gilliland driver. What an absolutely epic drive for him. You can see Buescher actually ended all the way down in 18th place. Kyle Larson a lap down, very uncharacteristic for him at Bristol, uncharacteristic for Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick as well. I mean, just rough days for certain drivers. You can see now, points update, Zane Smith, 3 wins in the Truck Series, but obviously we're going to check out the Cup Series points here. 2 multi-time winners now, and you can see only 6 different winners so far. Kyle Larson's a bit down low in the points, which is a bit of a surprise there, but we are only 5 points out of the playoffs now. Bubba Wallace, our teammate, only has 2 points on us, showcasing just how close him and I are, but a lot of drivers are really close on that cut line right now. Before we wrap it up, let's take a look at the reputation. As expected, Cindric not happy that I put him in the wall, and Chase Elliott not very happy either, and well, neither is Christopher Bell. Those are 3 drivers I expected to see 1, 2, 3 right there at the bottom of the list. Aside from that, we head to Talladega in the next episode. I think we're going to be in for a fun one. We're going to take off and land there in the Alabama area, and I'll see you guys in that next episode. Have a great day, everybody.